Richard C. Schwartz, You Are the One You've Been Waiting For, Bringing Courageous Love to Intimate Relationships. In You Are the One You've Been Waiting For, Bringing Courageous Love to Intimate Relationships, Richard C. Schwartz explores the profound intricacies of love and intimacy through the innovative internal family systems approach. By likening our emotions to a magical kitchen that readily provides nourishment, Schwartz highlights how our internal vulnerabilities, or exiles, often go unfed, causing us to seek validation from the outside world. This book delves into the roots of our emotional struggles, particularly the impact of childhood experiences on adult relationships. Readers will uncover how identifying and embracing these neglected parts can lead to profound healing and more authentic connections. Through illustrative stories and practical advice, Schwartz offers a pathway to nurture one's true self, fostering a courageous love that transforms intimate partnerships. Expect to gain insights into psychological safeguards, emotional dynamics, and steps for achieving true intimacy with both yourself and your partner.
Nourishing Inner Vulnerabilities. Picture this. A magical kitchen exists, able to serve any dish in endless amounts, ensuring the satisfaction of all cravings. Imagine growing up with such a luxury, and now your children benefit from it too. If someone offered you junk food in exchange for fulfilling their emotional needs, you'd decline without hesitation. Your family doesn't need his subpar offerings, they're already well-fed. Now, envision a different scenario, one where your kitchen isn't magical, and scarcity is the norm. Hunger frequently torments your children, a condition you've known too well, passed down by your parents' harsh methods. In this world of want, when someone proposes free, albeit low-quality, sustenance, it's tempting to agree. Though you doubt the stranger's reliability and notice his escalating demands, you compromise because your children's cries cease, their bellies finally full. Here, the metaphor of food represents love, while the children are the myriad emotions and thoughts dwelling within us, our insecurities, needs for attention, and feelings we were taught to suppress. From an early age, societal and familial molds confine these vulnerable parts, locking them away like unwanted basement dwellers. Yet, if we possess an internal, magic kitchen, an infinite supply of self-love and acceptance, these parts receive their due nourishment, remaining balanced. However, without such abundant self-love, we desperately seek external sources to quiet our inner cries, leading us to cling to harmful relationships or disruptive habits. The issue isn't with these aspects of ourselves but rather in our neglect and the love-starved exile they've endured. Understanding and embracing these vulnerabilities can transform them into assets rather than liabilities. After all, intimacy flourishes through the mutual exchange and acceptance of vulnerabilities. Preceding sections unfold this profound journey towards self-acceptance, demonstrating how reclaiming these exiled facets infuses life with genuine connection and emotional richness. The power of self-understanding. Elizabeth Gilbert offers a raw exploration into the profound influence unacknowledged emotional wounds, what she calls exiles, have on our lives and relationships. Through her personal story of heartbreak and the overwhelming sense of panic and loneliness she experienced, Gilbert articulates how these exiles can manifest as neediness and desperation, often pushing loved ones away. This internal conflict isn't just a personal phenomenon but stems from early life experiences where vulnerabilities were met with shame or judgment, shaping our lifelong patterns and perceptions. According to attachment theory, the relational dynamics and emotional responses we develop as children from our caregivers or parents deeply affect our worldview. This theory suggests that the rejection Gilbert felt may stem from unresolved issues with a parent, perhaps one who was absent. Similarly, her boyfriend's inability to connect might trace back to societal expectations imposed during his upbringing, teaching boys to conceal emotions. These long-hidden parts of ourselves remain raw and easily injured, leading to a cycle of hurt and rejection between partners. Each wound compounds, making emotional responses more intense and desperate over time. The path to healing, as Gilbert presents, is through connecting with the true self. This core aspect of our identity is a reservoir of unconditional love and understanding, capable of recognizing and comforting our wounded parts, the exiles. The journey starts inside. When hurt by a partner, one should look inward, acknowledging the exiled fragments and listening to the messages behind the pain. Often, these messages will point back to scenarios of neglect or criticism, such as a child ignored during family meals or a tender gesture met with disapproval. However, these sensitive exiles have long been shielded by protective mechanisms built over the years. These protectors act to shield the wounded parts but might also lead to patterns that harm relationships. Delving into understanding and dismantling these protective barriers allows for healthier interactions and personal growth. Embracing the full spectrum of our emotional landscape is a route to deeper self-awareness and healthier, more compassionate relationships, highlighting the self's essential role in healing and understanding one's past. Navigating relationship exiles. Imagine believing your partner would heal your deepest wounds, only to find they cause more hurt. When faced with this painful revelation, you might tackle 3 misguided projects. First, you might try to modify your partner, forcing them into a role they cannot fulfill, and thus damaging the relationship by making them feel inadequate. Alternatively, you might change yourself, contorting into a version you think your partner wants to prevent abandonment. This self-alteration, rooted in fear, is neither healthy nor sustainable. The third path you might take is emotional shutdown, manifesting in distractions like substance use or unfaithful escapades. For many men, this involves withdrawing from emotional expression, creating further isolation. Each of these projects inadvertently breeds new exiles, protective layers over old wounds. As these protective exiles grow, they may introduce destructive behaviors into your interactions, known as the 4 horsemen: contempt, criticism, defensiveness, and stonewalling. These toxic behaviors reveal the protectors aiming to shield old scars, and if ignored, they threaten to ruin the relationship. Recognizing these patterns in yourself and your partner is crucial. These protectors signal unhealed parts of you, desperate for acknowledgement. But there's hope. Discovering how to turn inward, understand these exiles, and communicate their needs marks the beginning of healing both yourself and the relationship. Empty your boat. Imagine yourself as a vessel, traversing the river of life. In an ancient parable by philosopher Zhuangzi, a man calmly continues his journey when another, unmanned, boat collides with his own. However, the presence of another person in the colliding boat elicits an annoyed shout, escalating if ignored. The lesson here is profound: emptiness is peaceful. By learning to empty your boat, or reacting with calm detachment, no one becomes hostile towards you. This metaphor offers profound insight into interpersonal dynamics, particularly when dealing with your innermost, exiled emotions. When you react with anger or harsh words, your true self isn't speaking, rather, it is an exiled, wounded part of you that lashes out. The key is to become an empty vessel, speaking for your exiled parts rather than from them. This shift transforms conflict from being an inherent battle to an examinable issue. Saying, "A part of me hates that," diffuses animosity and encourages understanding, making room for healthier interactions. Integrating this practice into your relationships requires some crucial steps. First, pause and breathe. This moment of reflection allows you to delve into your emotions, identifying which exiled part within you has been triggered. The process involves recognizing the layer of protection shielding this exile, urging you to probe deeper to uncover the source of distress, a frightened child in need of love, for example. Speak to this vulnerable part, assure it of your awareness and commitment to express its feelings, thus instilling trust and reducing volatility. Share your findings with your partner, explaining what your angry or scared part desires and the reasons behind it. Open communication invites your partner to understand and participate in this process, minimizing the risk of them responding with their exiled selves. Listening is just as vital. Ensuring your partner comprehends this approach aids in maintaining harmony in emotionally charged discussions. If difficulties persist in this journey towards emotional harmony, seeking a therapist's guidance can be beneficial. Such communication techniques are powerful tools against the most common sources of emotional exile, promoting peace and understanding in your relationships. Courageous love unveiled. Love with courage, and the fear of abandonment dissipates. Picture a scenario where your partner expresses a desire to leave. Notice which parts of you react immediately: panic, perhaps relief. Without judgment, explore these feelings to unearth any underlying abandonment anxiety. This fear is common, especially for those who equate self-worth with relationships. Meeting someone who validates those shunned parts of ourselves can make the idea of losing them terrifying. To shield against this anxiety, some might bury their worries, adopting a facade of indifference or detachment. If you don't care, they can't hurt you. Others may try to diminish their partner's confidence, hoping it prevents them from leaving. These responses, however, are unhealthy. The key to overcoming abandonment anxiety lies in trusting your self-leadership. Embrace and nurture your anxious parts so that you can extend that love and care effectively to your partner, allowing them both the space and support to grow. This mutual trust fosters a love rooted in independence, as Ralph Waldo Emerson once noted, emphasizing that high friendship means being able to exist without constant closeness. Courageous love stems from comfort in separation, not from clinging attachment. Parents exemplify this by loving their children unconditionally without needing them to fill emotional gaps. Recognizing courageous love is straightforward: you'll communicate effectively, openly exchanging feedback with your partner. When both partners speak and listen from their core selves, addressing vulnerable areas stops being stressful or panic-inducing. Rather than resorting to negative behaviors like anger, avoidance, or abuse, you and your partner collaborate to mend the relationship. It allows you to shed defenses and embrace full openness. The journey to courageous love, and ultimately to genuine intimacy, begins with listening to your own parts.
Schwartz's work compellingly argues that true intimacy begins with self-awareness and self-acceptance. By recognizing and nurturing the exiled parts of our personalities, we can break free from the cycle of projecting past wounds onto present relationships. This book illustrates that intimacy is not the result of finding someone else to complete us, but is born from courageous self-leadership and vulnerability. As we learn to speak for our emotions rather than act from them, we can foster healthier and more meaningful connections with others. These insights, accompanied by practical tools, empower readers to address deep-seated fears like abandonment and embrace love that is resilient and unrestricted. Schwartz's approach, blending psychological theory with real-world application, provides a transformative roadmap for anyone seeking to deepen their relationships and live more authentically. Ultimately, the book champions the power of self-compassion as the cornerstone of lasting, loving partnerships.